Hello everyone, welcome back to the tetrahedron chemistry classes. So guys, today I am going to discuss a very important reaction. The name of the reaction is the Simmons-Smith reaction or the Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation. Okay, but before going into the details of this reaction and the mechanism and the many more problems, let me tell you, I have started this name reaction series for IIT JAM. Okay, and so far in this series actually I have completed these much of name reactions: Hofmann bromide reaction, Curtius reaction, Lausanne reactions, or these all these are the rearrangements. Okay, then Schmidt rearrangement, Wolff rearrangement, Wittig reaction, and Pinacol-Pinacolone rearrangement. So these 7 reactions are already complete. I have already completed, and if you haven't seen that particular video on these name reactions, so I am giving you the link in the description box. Okay, you can go there and learn the every detail of the reaction, which is very important for your competitive examinations. And whatever I am explaining in this series, actually it is not limited up to only IIT JAM examination. It may be equally important for your CSIR NET as well as for the GATE examination. Okay, now we will see the Simmons-Smith reaction. So see guys, generally if you go through the books, then you will find the Simmons-Smith reaction, but my suggestion is that you must remember this reaction with this name, Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation reaction, which actually reminds you always that mean in that case you are going to form a 3-membered ring, which is the cyclopropane. That's why it is important to learn or to memorize this reaction as the Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation reaction, which will give you the idea actually. Okay, so what is this reaction and what is going to happen in that reaction? It is nothing but, you see the in this Simmons-Smith reaction, what we will do actually. So it is actually the cyclopropanation of the olefins. Olefins, you know, the alkenes. So generally you will convert your alkenes actually into the cyclopropane ring by using diiodomethane along with your zinc copper couple. Okay, this you will remember. So if you want to know what actually the Simmons-Smith reaction, so I can write it here as, say this is your CH2. Okay, I am writing a very simple reaction here. This is another CH2. Okay, and you are going to perform the Simmons-Smith reaction. That means you are going to take in that case CH2I2. Okay, and along with the CH2I2 you will take in that case zinc and copper couple. Okay, when you take this reaction, these reagents, okay, so this compound will gets converted into the cyclopropane 3-membered ring, and you know CH2 is here, CH2 is here, and another CH2 is here. Okay, so you are going to form the cyclopropane ring. Now the important thing is the reaction mechanism. Okay, see the important thing is that you must understand this thing actually. First in the reaction, what can happen actually, this diiodomethane CH2I2, it reacts with the zinc copper couple. Okay, copper you can consider as catalyst in that reaction, and that will convert this compound into ICH2ZnI. Okay, so this is actually what this system which I have actually shown here. This is actually zinc carbenoid. So you can consider this carbenoid as equivalent to the carbenes. See, it is very important for you to remember, in Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation there is no formation of the free carbene. So this is very important. No free carbene formation. No free carbene formation. So what would be the advantage? You know the carbene is the very reactive species. If this carbene is forming in certain reaction as free carbene, it can do the variety of the reaction and can give you the various side products. And you know in the organic reactions, whenever you are having the you are having the parallel reactions or the side reactions, then these side reactions or the byproducts actually decreases the yield of the desired compound. But this problem is not there in that case in zinc carbenoid a system which is equivalent to a carbene in the reactivity, but as such no free carbene formation takes place in that case. So, this is advantageous for us. And what is the name of this particular compound? Right, this compound, this is known as iodomethane zinc iodide. See, iodomethane zinc iodide is the name of this particular compound. This species is very, very important. See, however, in the modifications nowadays actually, see, this reaction is very, very important for the formation of the cyclopropane ring in any system, and it is widely used method till date actually, right. But people have scientists have already done some modifications. So, sometimes they do not use this zinc copper couple, they use actually diethyl zinc in that case. Okay. So, along with this, see, instead of this zinc copper couple, you may also find diethyl zinc in the reactions. Please remember this particular point. Okay. So, how the mechanism goes for this particular reaction? See here, I am writing the mechanism. Okay. So, I am writing the mechanism for this reaction. So, for mechanism, you see, this is my, say, alkene. I am drawing this in that manner. Okay. And then I am having my another reagent. That reagent is, say, this is CH2. Okay. This is I, which is attached with this carbon, and then your zinc iodide. Okay. So, I can write Zni here. So, what is the reaction? You know, see guys, this is very important, some basic knowledge you should have of organic chemistry, right. Say this double bond is actually nucleophilic. It is very, very nucleophilic. Okay. So, it will always actually looks for the electrophile, right. And this CH2 as such is not actually very electrophilic, but after the removal of this I from here, it can actually go on to the attack on your alkenes, or you say doubly bonded system, or your electron density. So, how the reaction mechanism goes, you see here, I am drawing this mechanism. Say this electron density, pi electron will attack on this CH2 group, and the moment this happens, actually what will happen next, actually this I along with this electron pair would attack on the Zn. You know, this zinc actually is having the, because zinc is in +2 oxidation state, so it is having the vacant d orbitals. So, these electrons actually can be donated to the vacant d orbitals. That is why this iodine actually goes along with the electron pair and attached to this zinc actually, and simultaneously what can happen in that case, again this electron, right, this electron pair will attack on this particular carbon atom. The moment this will happen, you can observe what is happening here. It is simply the addition of the CH2 which is going to happen on the double bond, and of course you will have these two substituent here, and plus Zni2 would be replaced. So, this is the formation of the cyclopropane ring. If I replaced these bonds with the hydrogens, so it is simply your what? You see this, right. So, this is how the reaction mechanism goes. It is something very, very important. Okay. So, what had happened actually in that case, you see here, this electron density has attacked on this carbonyl, this CH2, and then this iodine along with this electron pair will donate its electron pair to the d orbital of the zinc, form zinc iodide, and then this bond will attack on this particular carbon. So, you can see the clear linkage between this and this. So, you are forming the 3-membered ring in that case, and you will end up this particular species. This is something very, very important. So, if you want to show how actually we can draw the transition state for this one, okay. So, transition state is very easy to draw, right. Say I am drawing this transition state here, okay. So, this I have drawn here, right. Say, okay. So, these were the two hydrogens attached with this alkene, and whatever the double bond was present here, it will actually going to break, and then this will form bond with this CH2, and that CH2 will form bond with this, okay, and I actually will depart from here, and this bond is permanently bonded with this zinc and I, and this will form the bond with this zinc, and this is actually your transition state. This is your transition state, okay. This is your TS, very important. And why actually I have drawn this mechanism here? The reason is quite simple, guys. The reason is that because I have to show the concerted mechanism. So please remember this point. This reaction is the concerted reaction. That means simultaneous formation of the bond and simultaneous breaking and the formation of the bond. That means whatever the bond you are going to form between this alkene and this CH2, and the breaking of this I actually and forming of this bond, this all will happen in one single step. So there is no question of the formation of the free carbene. So this is high energy transition state, which you should remember. Okay, this is the simplest mechanism, and after that you can see this can easily be converted into this one. There is no problem in that. So now what should be the features actually? So features are actually quite simple here. First of all, you should remember, so I can write it here in the next page. Features of Simmons-Smith cyclopropionation features. So first point, you see this reaction is stereospecific. Stereospecific. Okay. So what is the meaning of the stereospecific? That means if you start the reaction with a substrate with a particular stereochemistry, so you will end up with the product which will have the fixed stereochemistry. If you change the stereochemistry of the reactant, then the stereochemistry of the product would also be changed, and this stereospecificity is all about your syn addition. So in that case, syn addition or cis addition would occur. So if you don't have any idea about the stereospecific reaction, so here is the link, you can see at the right top corner, the link is flashing for the stereospecific reaction. You can go through and learn what are the stereospecific reactions, right? So this is something important, very important. The first feature is the stereospecific nature with the syn addition. Okay, this is the first case. And what is the second feature? Second feature, you know, see, it is found that if you have the polar substituent, then rate of reaction would be very, very high. So what is the meaning of that? Say you are having this double bond, and this double bond is having, say, here, see, this is OH. So this OH is the polar group. Similarly, you may take this example like OCH3. This is another polar group, and then various examples are there. So whenever these polar groups are there in along with this double bond, right, say at the allylic position, okay, and there in that case the rate of the reaction is very, very high. Okay, and this is observed, very important, and the reason is quite simple. I'll explain you why actually this happens actually little later. Okay, and then the third feature is that more reactive double bonds, reacts preferably. So what is the meaning of that? See, if you are having the double bond here and you are having electron donating group attached to it, and on the other hand, if you have the double bond, you are having electron withdrawing group. So obviously this double bond is more reactive, because this actually what will happen in that case, you see, these electron donating group will donate electrons toward onto this double bond system. It will increase the electron density here, and when the electron density is very, very high, obviously the reactivity would also be very, very high. But if you have the electron withdrawing group here, like you can add the chlorine here, okay, so what will happen? It will suck the electron density inductively. So this bond is not very reactive. In that case, that would be not be very reactive, and you may not actually form the product, or if form the product, the rate of the reaction would be very slow. This I will again explain with the help of the example. Okay, and next thing, I already told you, the reaction is concerted. The mechanism is concerted. Okay, so these features you should remember, very important features these are, and you should remember this feature. So now what I have actually whatever I have said here in these 4 points, I am going to explain here. So in the next page, you see here, say you are having this species. Okay, this is your double bond here, and at this allylic position you are having the OH group, and you know this OH group is the polar. In that case, the rate of the reaction would be very high. Please remember, in that case the rate of the reaction would be very high. That means, say if you compare this rate with this cyclopropene, okay, say if you compare this rate with the cyclopropene for the same reaction, Simmons-Smith reaction, so for this substrate actually the rate would be 100 times faster, 100 times faster reaction in that case when compared to this one. Okay, so why this happens, let me see, I will explain you. So what I am going to show you, the Simmons-Smith reaction. So in the Simmons-Smith reaction, you know, you will take your diiodomethane, okay, and then you will take your zinc copper couple, and you end up with this product. This is a very important feature which I am going to explain here. What will happen? You know, this is the OH group which is present here, and in the Simmons-Smith reaction, you know, this double bond will get converted into the 3-membered ring. So here you will form a 3-membered ring. So your product will have this 3-membered ring. Okay, now why this reaction is stereo specific? Okay, say, you know, this is actually what this substitution is, the beta substitution means above the plane. I already told you, whenever you have the solid wedge, that means this is the beta, that means OH is the beta. When you are having these polar groups, and so these polar groups actually will dictate the formation of the your 3-membered ring. That means whatever the stereochemistry is associated with the polar group, the same stereochemistry would also be there for the 3-membered ring in that case. So this actually, this cyclopropane ring will also be actually what? Beta. So this is beta, and this is also beta. So I can actually write it this in that manner. Okay, so this is also beta, right? That's why it is stereo specific. But if you change this system, say if you take this system in that manner, see, if you draw and put this OH at the alpha position, and you do the Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation. So this is my way of writing SSC. So you will end up with this kind of the stereochemistry. This would be the OH, okay, and this is your cyclopropane ring, and that would also be alpha. So this is alpha, this is also alpha. So this is the stereo specific nature. If you change, if you have started with this stereochemistry in the substrate, you will end up with this stereochemistry in the product, that means both beta. If you change the stereochemistry of this polar group, then the stereochemistry of this cyclopropane ring will also be changed. This is the stereo specific nature. Okay, so why this happens actually, right? So whatever I am going to explain now, this is clearly given in the Clayden's book. You can go through the Clayden books if you want to understand the things, right? And for timing, you can focus here what I am going to explain. So what I will do, I will say, first of all, I have to remove this one because this can confuse you. So again I am removing this one also because I have explained the things. Okay, now you see guys, I am going to draw the mechanism. So this is my, say, 6-membered ring. This is my cyclopropane, right? This is the alkene system, and here you see I am having this system. So this is the way of drawing here. This is the conformation actually, right? So this is your cyclohexene conformation, and in that case you see this this is beta, so I have to place this OH at the beta position. So you see here, this is again OH, I am writing here, this is beta having the lone pair over there, okay. And then it will have the two hydrogens are having here, it is having the 2 hydrogens, so I can write my 2 hydrogens here, this is hydrogen 1, this is hydrogen 2, okay. So this is the actually conformation of your cyclohexenol in the stable form, okay. Now what will happen, you have taken this species which is your, say I am writing here, and then I am having my CH2 and then my zinc, and I am writing here, okay. I should not place this here. What I can do, I can write, okay, I can write I here. So now what is the mechanism? You see, this bond will attack here, at the same time this I will go back to this zinc, and that electron will attack here. This is the real mechanism. And you know, then zinc is having the vacant d orbital, it can actually coordinate with this lone pair of the oxygens or with the oxygen, you see coordination with the oxygen. So what you are observing here, a cycle or the ring formation is taking place. This is known as the chelation or the chelate formation, okay. This is what? Chelate formation, you know. Due to the formation of this chelate, actually this chelation, actually this transition state is quite, see if you draw the transition state, I am going to draw the transition state for this one also. You see here how I draw the transition state. So this was my bond and this was my double bond, like that, okay. And then I was also having this system here, and then I was also having this system here, and then I was having the CH2, okay, and this was having the OH here. So this is actually, I can write Zn I here, this is forming the coordination with it, this bond will form here, this bond will form here, okay, and that I will going to break, and that is coordinated to zinc. So this is the transition state actually, right. And don't forget, 2 of the hydrogens are already here, okay. So I can brush it. So these are the hydrogens towards you actually. So in that case, see, for this chelation, actually the chelate formation which is happening here, for this it is very important that this OH group and this zinc system, that means your methane zinc iodide, both must be on the same phase of the double bond. If they are present on the same phase, only then this coordination is possible. Say let us think in that manner, if it is going below side, okay, then there would be no coordination. So for this chelation, for this coordination to occur, it is very important both this polar group as well as this system actually must be placed on the same phase. Only then this coordination would occur, and when this will happen, this will give you the product, okay. So what product you will have in that case, right? So now it is quite clear. I am drawing your product also. So this was just like that. This is the cyclopropane ring which has formed here, okay, and then you are having this system, okay, and you know this will have my hydrogens, this will also have my hydrogens, okay. So I can write it here. So if you count the number here, this is the cyclopropane ring 1, 2, 3 which you have formed, right. So this bond is common, okay. Now if you count the other carbon, see this is carbon number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. So 6 membered ring along with the 3 membered ring. So this is equivalent. Of course you will also have this OH here, then this is equivalent to what? This and OH over there. So this explains actually the stereospecific nature as well as the rate of the reaction. Why the rate of the reaction for this polar groups are very high? You know, because the formation of the chelate. Okay, because this stabilizes the transition state. When the transition state is quite stable, so that in that case the formation would occur very easily. So this have been given in the your Claydon book. Actually, you can go through and learn the concept from there. Okay, this is something very important. So I hope this much of thing is sufficient to form the basic background of this reaction. Okay, now I am going to discuss some of the problems. Okay, so this is my first problem. So in that case there is no problem, guys. Why there is no problem in that case? Because there is no stereochemistry given for this OH group. Only this double bond is there, and you are doing this Simmons-Smith reaction or Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation. So what you will do, you will change this double bond into the 3-membered ring. Okay, so your product would be like that. So there is no need to draw the mechanism again and again. For competitive examination, you should know the ways. Okay, and this is the OH. This is the product actually, right? Now the second case, in that case you see again here, in that case you see this OH is polar. However, it is not present at the allylic position, but of course it is there, right? So it is not necessary that your double bond must have the polar group at the allylic position. It may next to the allylic carbon actually, but it will also dictate the stereochemistry of the product actually. So in that case, you know, this double bond will form the cyclopropane ring, and that cyclopropane ring would also be above the plane, that is beta, because this is beta. So your cyclopropane ring must also be formed on the beta position. So how I can write this? So this is my 5-membered ring, there is no problem. This is my OH, this is H. Okay, this is OH, no problem, and this is my 3-membered ring. Okay, so this is also beta. Please remember, this is also beta. So what I can do, I can fill this. Let me fill it. Okay, here. So this is also beta, and this is also beta, right? So this is the cyclopropane ring. If you want, then you can draw your hydrogens also, because you know this system will also having the hydrogens here at the cis position. So you can draw your hydrogens both on the same phase, that is below the plane, because ring is above the plane. So these two must be placed below the plane. So you see, this is beta, this ring, and this OH is also beta. So see how the polar group is dictating the stereochemistry. And remember, you may also have the non-polar groups here, but as I told you, whenever you are having the non-polar groups, so generally in that case, if you have the electron withdrawing group, the rate of the reaction is quite slow. So there is not much importance of this. But however, if you place CH3 here, so I can give you an idea about, say if you put the CH3 here, okay, or if you put the CH3 here, then what will happen actually? Okay, if you change this, then again if you put the CH3 here, then this cyclopropane bond will form below the plane. So please remember this point. If you have the polar groups, okay, then stereochemistry of polar group and cyclopropane would be same. But if you have the non-polar group, like if you see, I can draw this reaction here, say you are having this system, okay, and you have CH3 here, and you are doing the Simmons-Smith cyclopropanation, then you will end up with this species. CH3 is here, okay, and this would be below the plane. So you should remember, okay. However, these reactions are studied only for vastly for your polar groups actually. So this point you have to keep in your mind, okay. Now next thing you see here, next reaction, you are having this system, and since no stereochemistry is attached with this system, so you can straightforward form the 3-membered ring here. So this is the product, right? This is N Bn whole twice. So this is again you see having the lone pair. This can also coordinate with the zinc actually. Okay, in that case you see diethyl zinc is taken in place of the zinc and copper couple, and of course with the TFA, trifluoroacetic acid is taken here. So these are the examples. Now next you see here, right, this is this example is very important. Okay, so this is the special compound, right? I forgot the name of that particular compound, tropane I think, right? Tropane is the name I think for this particular compound. Please verify it. Okay, so in that case you see you are doing the Simmons-Smith reaction. So what you will do? You will simply replace this double bond with the 3-membered ring. So what you do? You write this in that manner. Okay. So these are the 3-membered ring. Okay. So you have introduced this 3-membered ring here. Now again you are doing the Simmons-Smith reaction for this one. So this reaction you can do by your own. This is the OH group which is beta. So this OH, this 3-membered ring which will be formed here, this should also be beta. So let me draw you the structure. Draw the structure for you. Say this is this system, and this is having this system. Okay, this is methyl, this is OH, and these are the 2 methyl groups. Okay, and then the 3-membered ring will form. So you can draw the 3-membered ring here very easily. So it is beta. Here you have formed the 3-membered ring. Okay, then you are having this particular compound. Now this compound, this example is a special example. Okay, so here you see here, if I go back, what I have written here, you see more reactive double bond reacts preferably. Okay, so for this you see here, if I move right, for this compound you see you are having double bond here and you are having the double bond here, but you can see here this double bond is actually involved in the conjugation. This can move in that manner. So that means, what is the meaning of that? This electron pair is not readily available between these 2 carbons. So this is less reactive because it is involved in the conjugation. Please remember this point. The double bond which is involved in the resonance or in the mesomeric effect or in the conjugation, then this would be less reactive, and if you are doing the reaction with the 1 equivalent of this reagent, so this will not react to form the cyclopropane ring. So this will form the cyclopropane ring, right? But if you have taken this reagent in the higher equivalent, say 2 or 3 or 5 equivalent, of course first this will actually form the cyclopropane ring, and then this will also form the cyclopropane ring. But right now if you have started the reaction with the 1 equivalent, only this will going to change actually. Okay, so how you can write the product for this one? This is again quite easy. Double bond carbon, this is right, and this one, this, and then you are having the 3-membered ring. So how you can draw the 3-membered ring? Just like that. So this is cyclopropane which you have formed here. Now what is next? Okay, this reaction, question number 7, again you see here, in that case this bond is beta. Okay, and this is carbon, actually carbon, this is the polar group. So and here now this is the special reaction, guys. See, this is the chlorine here, which you see it is your electron withdrawing group. You can consider this as. So it will actually suck the electron density, making this electron pair, this double bond, less reactive. That's why when you do the Simmons-Smith reaction with the zinc and copper and this diiodomethane, there would be no reaction. Okay, this could be the reason. This is the research paper published actually in some research paper. See, I have seen that reference, but unfortunately I didn't give that reference here, right? But if you change the reactive system, if you take the diethyl zinc along with the TFA, then this double bond gets converted into the product, actually cyclopropane. Okay, so you can draw the product here. This is your 6-membered ring. There is no problem. this is the oxygen, this is oxygen again, and that is actually beta, and then this double bond you will form this, and then you are having the chlorine when you have this reagent. However, in the literature it is clearly reported that when you use this system the reaction is not going to happen. So, I am assuming that due to the presence of this electron withdrawing group the reactivity is low. So, it could be, I am not sure, but it could be difficult for this reagent to form the product, but this extra advanced species, right, this is the more readily handled species, this can give you this product actually. Okay. So, this actually is very important. Now, next is question number 8, and this question number 8 is again quite simple, there is no problem in that. In that case, you see here again, you will see this is double bond here, this is double bond here, and you have started with the 2 equivalent, right. So, this will also convert into the 3-membered ring, this will also convert into the 3-membered ring. So, how you can draw the product keeping the stereospecific nature of the reaction in mind. So, you can write in that manner, this is oxygen, this is another oxygen, okay, this is carbon, this is beta, this is alpha, okay, and then so you will have this ring formed here. So, this is 3-membered ring, and again you will have this system, then you will have this ring. Okay. So, this is beta, this is also beta, this is alpha, this is also alpha. This is how you can draw. And the next problem is again the very straightforward problem. I have taken this problem from the June 2019 examination. So, from the first step, you know, the first step is the Simmons-Smith cyclopropionation. Okay, if you do the Simmons-Smith cyclopropionation, then you will form this species. This is OH. Okay. Since the stereochemistry is not defined at this position, so you can quickly draw in that case. So, this is actually the Simmons-Smith reaction. But the second step, see, I am not going to say, okay, let it finish actually. Okay. So, this is actually you, if you have the idea about the reagent, this sodium iodate actually, right, this is the oxidizing agent. Okay. So, if you know this much thing only, that so this sodium iodide is the oxidizing agent, you know your alcohol can be oxidized readily. It's a strong oxidizing agent because it is inorganic in nature, and inorganic compounds are always stronger than the organic one. Okay. So, it can actually oxidize this alcohol straight to the acid. And you may also think that this sodium iodide will change this ruthenium, and then ruthenium compound will form in the reaction that will oxidize this one. But there is no need to go in that much of the detail. If you know the nature of the sodium iodide, that would be sufficient. Okay. So, this was the step number 1, and step number 2, right, if you take the sodium iodide, you will oxidize this species. How you will oxidize this species? It's quite simple. This is COOH, okay, and this will form this 3-membered ring here along with the CH3. See how easy the reaction is. Now, next, okay, this is my last reaction for you, and what it says, the first step is you are taking this. Okay, what is this? What is this? This is actually your Gilman reagent. This is Gilman reagent, and it is famous for addition at alpha beta unsaturated system, alpha beta unsaturated system. So, you can consider, right, this is actually what your principal functional group. Okay. So, that position is alpha, that position is beta. So, what will happen for this Gilman reagent in the first step? If you have taken this CH3, right, from this Gilman reagent, so this along with the electron pair from this Gilman reagent, this species, right, along with this electron pair, this will attack on this beta carbon, and this will shift here, and this electron will go there. There is no problem in that. So, what you are going to form in the next step? In the next step, you will have this species, right. You are having the methyl attached here. This is CH3, and double bond has shifted here, and this is your O negative. Okay, how it has happened actually? See, this actually epoxide is above the plane. So your methyl from the Gilman reagent cannot attack from the top phase, so it has to go from the bottom phase. That means from the alpha side. It is beta, so it will go to the alpha side. If it would be if it has been if it would be alpha, then this would attack from the beta side. Okay, so this is beta, so that's why it has attacked from the alpha side. So this is below the plane. Okay, this has shifted here. So up to this stage, this is the actually Gill addition of the CH3. That means the famous work of the Gilman reagent actually, which generally do the alpha beta addition. Okay, and after that, what can happen actually? You can do the protic workup for this one. If you do the protic workup, okay, then you will end up with this compound. This is the OH and this is CH3. Now you see here, you are having the non-polar at the allylic position, you are having the polar at the allylic position, but you know this electron, this oxygen can actually donate the electron here. Okay, so also however it is not possible, sorry, it is not possible. Okay, but due to the presence of this OH group, the reactivity of this is very high, so this will dictate the stereochemistry of the reaction. If you do the Simmons-Smith reaction, second step, which is this one, so you will end up with the cyclopropane ring. So if this is OH beta, then this would also be beta and this would be your CH3 at the alpha. So this is how you can actually draw. Okay, this is how you can draw. So both are beta, this is beta, this is also beta. So this is all about the Simmons-Smith reaction, but in your textbook, right, especially if you go for the name reaction for the synthetic organic chemistry, then you will find the various other examples which cannot be actually solved on the pure concept of the Simmons-Smith reactions. But the whatever I have explained you, this is more than sufficient for your any competitive examination. I hope you like the lecture. If you like the lecture, please like the video, subscribe the Tetrahedron chemistry classes and do share with your friends also. So that's it for today guys. Thank you very much.